I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your dumpster fire for the week of March 21st to March 27th.
And the unicorns dance while the world burns, world burns.
Folks, I have a bone to pick with you. Some of you haven't made me rich yet. And now I'm still just a poor old lady on YouTube. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, subscribe to Phetasy.com. If you really like what we're doing, the community is amazing. You get the unedited version of this ginormous shit show delivered to you in your doom box the day before it's released. And you can help me pay Maggie and Sam, who are currently working for... And the best thing you can do is donate to our PayPal, throw us a few...
Ducats. Bones.
I always feel like I hate this part.
I know.
I'm like, just pony up.
You're like, stop jerking off, take out your wallet, open up your
My
credit
favorite are the people in the comments who are like, you guys are taking another week off. Like, enjoy your free content and shut the fuck up, okay? Speaking of which, we're taking next weekend off. It is the Lord's resurrection. And we take those things very seriously here at Phetasy.com.
We too will emerge from Iraq.
Iraq?
Isn't it Iraq?
Iraq?
Iraq or Iraq?
We will emerge from a cave that is blocked by Iraq.
Obviously never went to Sunday school.
Sam thought Jesus just came out of Iraq.
We were so confused too.
I thought
She
you
think it was happening in Iraq. I know, that's what I thought. I thought she was using her Persian girl accent to say the country's name correctly.
We too will emerge from Iraq. I mean, he was from around there.
He was from around there.
He rose from the dead. I think it's cool
was
that our
in
Lord
there?
and Savior is a zombie.
Right?
Yes. Is your Lord and Savior a zombie? I didn't think so. Well, we're already off the rails and it's 5 minutes in. I'm sure most of this got cut. And if you're wondering what's going on, so are we. You know who else is wondering what's going on? Our Alden Chief.
Biden had his first press conference 64 days after taking office.
It's, again, Schrodinger's president. Everybody who saw it was like, he did great. Look at how well he did. And it completely depends on your politics, how this guy did. But there were some stumbly blank spot moments where he was trying to talk about how you do a great job, and then he just lost his train of thought completely.
Best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to... Anyway...
And then he kind of gained it back, and you're like, you know how you do a great job? You complete a sentence so we know what the fuck you're talking about, man. Come on, man.
We're going to get a lot done.
On a level of 1 to 1984, what level of gaslighting do you think is going to go down when he has to resign because he can't hold it together anymore? I'm saying 1984. That's the level.
Yeah. And I mean, it's going to be like, well, for health reasons. He's fine,
I'll be
but
shocked
he
if he
needs a
makes
break.
it 2 years.
Yeah.
And then they're going to tell us, oh, he was fine, but yeah, all you guys who are saying that he wasn't fine, you're the crazy ones.
Uh-huh.
You're not crazy.
We said it here first.
You're not crazy. We're all being gaslit. Oh, speaking of gaslit.
Conspiracy theories we can get behind. Demonstrators took to the streets in several European cities on March 20th to protest COVID-19 lockdown restrictions. There's been almost no mainstream media coverage of it.
Yeah, they kind of mentioned it, but it seemed like it was just individual cities. Like, oh, there was a protest in France. There was a protest in London. Nobody mentioned that this was a subreddit and it was planned on this day for protests all around the world.
All around the
It
world.
was
Yeah,
like a global event.
It was a global event, and there was a global kind of media blackout around the fact that this was a global event.
Huh.
which is
Almost.
creepy.
Yeah.
Almost like there's an agenda that is trying to be hidden.
I'm telling you, if you want to fuel conspiracy theories, this is a great way to do it. By acting like none of this stuff is happening and by acting like none of these people are organizing and getting frustrated with all of these stupid lockdowns.
They're taking our freedoms away.
These are enemies of the people.
It's hard for me not to feel like there is some Illuminati-esque force that wants us all under control.
Are big tech and governments colluding to prevent us having any meaningful power forever?
How long before it's like climate lockdowns? And then it's like, oh, you've got to do this for the climate. Stay home.
Look at what the World Economic Forum did whenever they tweeted out that video about how lockdowns made the earth better.
Yeah, they're already kind of hinting at it.
Yeah.
And if I've learned anything from this past year, it's when they're hinting at something, they're just telling us they're going to be doing it soon.
The highly educated, the people who are driving this will all be fine. In other words, everybody in Davos and the Davos universe will be fine.
That might as well have been Darth Vader. The Davos universe will be fine. What about that planet you're blowing up to upset Princess Leia? Oh no, they're fine.
Then we have journalism. CNN has lost 45% of its primetime audience in the past 5 weeks. MSNBC's audience has dropped 26% in the same period.
I told you. I told you so. If you'd been watching Dumpster Fire, you would have known that the collapse of this industry is coming, particularly on the left wing, because they don't have their big, fat, disgusting cash cow to milk anymore. We're milking Trump for ducats.
Oh, now there are hand motions.
No more milking Mr. Trump for ducats, folks. Yeah, what are they going to do? You know what has gone up 45% in viewership, though? Dumpster Fire.
In the last 5 weeks.
Our viewership has increased 45% because we have standards.
We are a reliable news source.
We are not a reliable news source.
We are not a reliable news source.
We are a reliable news source with integrity.
We are your dancing monkeys.
We will milk your ducats. We
Ew.
will. That's an ew.
What is happening?
What is happening?
A giant container ship got stuck in the Suez Canal and is blocking 10% of world trade.
It was a big week for boats. A lot of boat stories this week. This story in particular was hilarious because right before this boat got stuck in the Suez Canal, it drew a giant dick in the Red Sea and then inserted itself into the canal and got lodged there. It's still lodged there as of taping and will probably be lodged there for a few more days. And there are so many poop jokes to be made because now the entire Red Sea is constipated and 10% of the global shipping trade is backed up. And it's causing all sorts of ripple effects and repercussions, one of which, ironically, proving that this is a fucking simulation that we live in, is that there might be a global shortage on toilet paper. Are you kidding me?
Uh-huh.
Toilet paper having the last laugh again. All the people in the United States who got mocked by Europe and the rest of the world because we don't have bidets and we were fighting over toilet paper in Costco. We deserve the mockery. They're sitting at home right now on their thrones, their porcelain thrones, and they're like, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Redemption! Take that, rest of the world. We have all the toilet paper. I was just making fun of them on Twitter. I was calling them crazy. I said happy anniversary to the psychos who stocked up on toilet paper, and now look who's laughing.
There are people who bought thousands of rolls of toilet paper.
Well, guess what? Toilet paper back on the black market. Then, of course, there are all the memes, and the most obvious joke was the Austin Powers joke, but the internet truly does remain undefeated. And then came Florida trying to get some of that sweet, sweet boat attention. And a pink boat, of course, ended up on a freeway and blocked traffic. It was like the B version of what's going on.
Right.
Still have no idea how that boat ended up there. I've looked up 3 stories about it, none of which explain how the boat ended up there.
Right, like whether it was a trailer
or a tornado
that broke or something. A freak tornado.
Yeah, just like
Lifted
a rogue.
one boat up.
Maybe it was one of those water tornadoes.
Maybe
it was like, "Vroom," and then just dropped a pink boat on the freeway and no one wants to talk about it. Even in the like Facebook post that was talking about it didn't explain how it got there. I feel like that's important information to put.
Yeah. Speaking of Florida, parade of morons. People are wilding out down in Miami on spring break. There were lots of fistfights, and SWAT team had to be brought in to dispatch spring breakers with pepper spray balls.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Miami looks awesome. That is how I like to party. If there's not a fist fight and some pepper spray happening by the end of the night, well, you are not doing it right. Call the National Guard. It's spring break. I mean, America, you're wilding out. America gone wild.
Oh, boy.
Showing their titties and their butts and their flaps and their folds. All out there on national TV getting pepper sprayed. Your parents should be embarrassed. If I know anything, it's that I think some of these folks could use a Daddy Would Be Proud t-shirts.
Absolutely. You all should know what they look like since one was sitting on Karen for like 10 weeks.
Now looks like she went to her boyfriend.
She's finally...
Who was Karen dating?
Karen got back from her boyfriend's and she's wearing his dumpster fire shirt.
Everything is racist.
Everything is racist. And in this case, this actually is racist, although it's not considered racist anymore.
Oakland is giving $500 checks to poor families, but not if they're white.
Could you imagine if you reverse this and you said we're giving only money to white people and not to... Well, I guess that has been done in America's history. Yeah, this just seems like a bad idea to me. Poor is poor.
Yeah, it's
somebody
just
who's making $60,000, no matter what, shouldn't be getting $500 a month more than someone who's under the poverty line at $12,000, no matter what the color of their skin is. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion. I know that that's a controversial opinion in 2021, but it's weird because I feel like this just encourages the race war. I think it's kind of insidious and creepy because it feels a little bit like the elites would like to distract from the class war and just keep the race war going. They're like, hey, you know how we can distract from the fact that we have a large percentage of the money? We'll decide to give a very small fraction of the money that we have away to only one part of the poor people and not the other. And then we're going to let the poors fight amongst themselves and they'll never notice us up here.
Yeah.
This is my conspiracy theory.
This is like the elite's like equivalent of bum fighting.
Yeah, it is. It's elites bum fighting. It's bullshit. It's pretty genius. I mean, I do give the Illuminati a lot of credit because when you're poor, you're not going to notice those things. You're just going to be like, fuck those people getting the money and I'm not getting money. And it's because of the color of my skin. And now I'm going to be mad at those people who are not like me.
Yeah.
Poor is poor. Help the poors, all of them. Speaking of poor.
Help us, please.
Help us, please. We're not poor. We're really not poor. We would just like to make more content. Please subscribe to Phetasy.com if you have a chance or a moment. And if you'd like to join our very fun community. And if you'd like to join the workouts. If you'd like to laugh with us on drop-ins welcomes. And if you would like to make it so that we can make this almost 2 or 3 times a week, I can pay these lovely interns that I have. Sam and Maggie.
A 40-year-old intern. How glorious.
We're interns.
Sprained my eyes. Emily Radzikowski said they didn't want to know the gender of their baby until they turned 18. Then she posted a photo with the caption, "Beautiful boy."
She misgendered her own baby. Cancel her! Cancel her immediately for being annoying. She should be canceled just for being annoying. Celebrities are the most irritating people when they're pregnant because they act like they're the first human being that ever gave birth to a child. And she posted a picture of her breastfeeding with her perfect, amazing titties. And she really is just so hot.
Yeah. No, she was like, say what you will about Emily Ratajkowski. She's really hot.
She's the hottest. Even when she was pregnant, she was like, of course, looked freaking perfect. And now she's breastfeeding her baby boy, which I thought they didn't want to know what the gender was until they were 18. You're a parody of yourself, Emily. A very hot, very good-looking parody of yourself.
All right. R.I.P. Jessica Walter. Aw.
R.I.P. She was 80 and died in her sleep. It sounds like somebody might have modded herself, if you know what I mean.
The way to go, man.
Yeah. 80 after an amazing career in your sleep. That is the absolute way to go. And Lucille Bluth and Mallory Archer were two of the greatest characters Hollywood ever came up with. And it's great because she was an older woman. She had these like amazing roles well into her senior years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a great interview, and Steve Levitan said that they knew that the writing was wrong in Arrested Development. If she said a line and it didn't get a laugh, they knew we need to fix the writing because she was so great. She always got a laugh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When they would do like a read through.
Yeah. Like if the line didn't get a laugh, rewrite it.
Later, platter. I don't understand the question, and I won't respond to it.
She's so good. She was so talented.
Get me a vodka rocks.
Mom, it's breakfast.
And a piece of toast.
What a career. What a woman. What a life. And wow, just the best characters she brought to life.
Iconic.
Truly, we'll miss you. But I still will be binge watching Arrested Development on a regular basis.
Over and over again. All right, and then we have R.I.P. the BDE. Oh, apparently penises are shrinking due to pollution.
That's a sad penis because climate change is ruining the size.
It's a talking
Is
set.
that your penis voice?
It's a sad little Winky. It's a sad little Winky who just wishes people would stop using plastics. I mean, we won't have a BDE award, a big dick energy, because there will be no more big dick energy. And you know what? All those incels are right. They're soy boys being born out there. Soy boys.
A lot of people don't know what soy boys are.
They're just estrogen-filled pussies. Not actual pussies.
Boys.
Metaphorical pussies. Every week we try and get through without a dirty joke, and we can't make it. And if you really want to see what the heck we were just talking about, subscribe to Phetasy.com, because I'm absolutely certain what I was just talking about won't make it to the final cut. I'm the censor now. Look at me, Maggie. I'm the censor now.
I'm going to leave it in just to fuck with you.
It made me blush.
It'll be like Bridget Phetasy loves anal.com.
We should buy that domain.
Who out there doesn't know that?
A conservative lady does not do the anal.
A conservative lady does not take it up the bum. I mean, if the Winky is small, it is better for butt stuff.
Capitalism always wins. Capitalism is unsustainable. T-shirts are on sale.
This is a fantasy. Beyond parody. It's not even something that's possibly real. $40 these t-shirts are.
Yeah.
If you would like to crush this commie propaganda the way that it should be crushed, please spend $34 on our much more adorable Capitalism Always Wins t-shirts. And then we can have little marches in the streets. Speaking of Capitalism Always Winning, subscribe to Phetasy.com.
Just choked.
My ear is itching.
Oh boy.
We're almost
From
done.
Obama.
Everybody's
Let's finish
falling
up.
apart. Clearly,
maybe
Bridget
Obama has a
Bridget had
dick
a little
cheese.
visit over the weekend.
Ew, dick cheese.
Yes, she's got it. So it's like in the ear and up the butt. No wonder you've never gotten pregnant.
Can't imagine why we don't have any sponsors these past couple of weeks with such a wholesome show we're running.
Did it feel like a finger in your ear?
Obama.
A little winky.
Obama's got BDE. Come on now.
Come on now. You can't confirm that for us?
A lady never speaks.
The making of a eunuch. Speaking of big dicks.
Speaking of small dick energy.
Harry will become the Chief Impact Officer for Better Up, a fast-growing coaching and mental health firm.
This sounds exactly like the kind of job you'd make up for a prince. What is this even? What title is this? Chief Impact Officer.
Yeah. What the hell kind of bullshit title is that?
It's totally a bullshit title you make up just so you can have a prince working for you and give him a job because he's like a abused man at home. And she was probably like, get out there and find another job. He has 2 jobs now. Jobs. And I suppose it's good for a company like this because he knows exactly what it's like to be trapped and mentally abused. So this is probably a pretty good position for him. He has some experience.
Dumpster diving.
What's next? And the dumpster. I felt that one down to my bum.
Whoa.
And I felt some jiggle, so we need to step up those Sarah Connor workouts.
If you've been vaccinated, Krispy Kreme will give you a free donut every day for the rest of the year.
All I wanted to do, for the record, was just point out the irony of a company giving away free donuts to people for getting vaccinated when obesity is part of the thing that affected people the most who got COVID. I just tweeted it. It was early in the morning, and I should know better than to tweet. And then everybody jumped on it because it was a slow news day. And pretty soon obesity was trending. I take no responsibility. I take a little responsibility. And then people were texting me. They're like, are you okay? Because I guess I was getting dunked on. I was writing, so I didn't even see. I just like tweeted and got the hell out of there. And then next thing I know, people are like, Bridget, you got obesity trending.
You were being called fat-phobic and ableist.
I got called fat-phobic. I was just pointing out what I thought was some irony, and people were like, this is genius. That means people who are more overweight are more likely to get vaccinated so that they can get their free donuts. I'm like, they should just not be eating freaking donuts, and they'd be better off for the most part and get your vaccine too, I guess. But this still seems like a bad plan. And then they're trying to make arguments like, 1 donut a day isn't going to make you obese. There's like 200 calories in a Krispy Kreme donut. Times 7. 1,400 extra calories a week. Over the course of a month, you're going to be gaining 2 pounds a month.
Oh, no. Donuts are one of the worst things you can eat. They're horrible.
You can also just eat 1 donut.
Yeah, that's the other thing. No one's eating 1 donut either. Mm-hmm. No one's going and getting their 1 donut allotment if they're getting a donut every day. And then people were telling me I was fat phobic, and I was very confused about this because I'm not afraid of fat people. They can't catch me. And then I was told by Maggie that that's not what fat phobia is. It's a fear of fatness. And that is absolutely correct then. I'm definitely afraid of getting fat. I have no prejudice against fat people. I'm not going to shame people for being fat. I think it's really hard to lose weight. I understand the struggle. I recognize that it's a problem in our society, some of which is personally responsible, some of which has to do with all the shit that's in our food. But at the end of the day, I will shame you for not taking responsibility for your personal health. Absolutely. And fat phobia, yeah, I'm afraid of the fat girl inside of me, okay? There's a fat girl inside all of us just dying to come out. And you got to keep that fatness locked up deep in your heart and stop eating those daily donuts. It's crazy to me, too, that I said obesity is one of the things that affected someone's ability to fight COVID. Well-documented fact. If Fauci had just come out and said, and this is where I hate to agree with Bill Maher, who's been saying this from frickin' day one, if Fauci had come out and said that people should just lose weight and eat well and take care of their diet because they're seeing that this affects people, he would have saved thousands of lives. And instead, you can't say that anymore because it hurts people's feelings. Speaking facts. And so then I get called fat phobic because I just spoke a fact. Maybe I am afraid of my own fatness. The potential for fatness.
Nobody wants Bridget Phetasy.
I'm going to just have to keep up my training because now the fats are going to come for me. And they can't catch me, but I am going to make sure that I can outrun one of those motorized vehicles. And I need to find out how fast they can go and what the battery life is.
That's really steps up your Peloton workouts. You're like, I just need to be able to outrun a mob of fat people on those little scooters.
I need to be able to run 30 miles an hour for approximately 20 minutes. I wonder how long those things go. Leave it in the comments.
30 miles an hour.
No. I'm doing like calculations. I'm
You
like,
have a chart.
anyone over 400 pounds, and I've got them in about 10 minutes.
Then we have the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Shrimp Fiasco. A man found cinnamon toast coated shrimp, apparently shrimp tails, in his cereal box and caused us to think about it online. And
Well, because they gaslit him.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, these are shrimp tails. They're like, no, that's just cinnamon and sugar stuck together. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure these are shrimp tails. They were like, absolutely shrimp tails. But it is dangerous. People have food allergies. So you're like, particularly shellfish allergies, which can kill you. So it makes you wonder, like, how in contact with shellfish is cereal.
Then the other thing that was also going around, because then he started to find black droppings kind of like in the food, the cereal itself. So then they thought there was a rat in the factory and that the rat was eating and nesting in the box.
And that actually makes more sense. And I think I just heard something out there.
And I think I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Yeah, now they have to do like a whole deep dive into it.
Moving on to a new category we've added just for our little Sammy Sam. Conspiracy Corner with Sammy F&F.
Tell us, Sam, what did you learn on Telegram this week about the elites and what their plans are for us?
They want us to eat bugs.
Oh, God.
So buy all of the cows and all of the chickens and all of the goats and all the little lambs and start making a farm, because we are not going to eat insect protein by 2030.
The World Economic Forum put out one of their crazy tweets about how we need to eat, plant proteins and alternative proteins.
Microorganism-based protein.
Yeah.
Transform food, mitigate climate change, and drive profits.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They're really going to try and make us live in pods and eat bugs, aren't they?
Sam's like, invest in cows.
I will buy the cows.
We need to get rich. We need some of that Davos money before we're eating bugs with the plebs.
Seriously. Breaking Bridget. The media reaction to the Boulder shooting.
I don't really like to address these serious things on Dumpster Fire, because Dumpster Fire is a whimsical show filled with laughter and joy and fun and unicorns dancing while the world burns. And we generally just kind of back away from shootings in the same way that Homer Simpson backs into the shrubs when they come up, because it's such a charged topic. The news is always breaking. There's always more information coming out. It's tragic. But this past week, there was a shooting in Boulder, and immediately all the normal people who you would kind of come to expect ran out onto Twitter with their bold proclamations of who they thought the shooter was before the shooter was even identified. And they all assumed it was a white man, all of them. There was one bad tweet after another, and I just don't tweet after. Like, rule number one of shooting Twitter, just don't tweet. Don't say anything. You don't have to say anything. And they came out with these horrible takes that make everything worse. You lose sight of the victims, and then it came out that the guy was from Syria. Always what gets lost in the shooting narrative, like always what gets lost in these discussions, is that this individual is mentally ill. There's always an individual who does these things. I'm sure you can't take it out of context, and the social influences matter, but it's still like a crazy person doing a crazy thing. And it always gets swept up in all these larger narratives that are trying to blame the actions on groups for an individual. And it drives me fucking insane. And this week, the minute that the identity of the shooter came out, the narrative collapsed and they swept the entire story under the rug. And it was fucking gross. It's disgusting. It's disgusting to even come out and assume that and just assume this is going to be obviously a white shooter. This shit is so bad. It's so bad for our society. Just fucking pause when there's something like this going on and you want to get your hot take out there. Just pause. You don't have to tweet anything, especially something that's stupid and heartless. The takes were so bad. Siraj Hashmi, who does The List on Twitter, which is just bad takes whenever anyone tweets, he just puts the little hand, and it's one of the best Twitter follows ever. I was like, wow, you must be busy this week. And he's like, you have no idea. He provided all of the receipts for us for this section of the bad freaking tweets that people ended up all having to delete. They all had to walk them back or delete them. And then they were like, oh, the Syrian guy is obviously white because he isn't dead. Like, your brain is so fucking broken. If these are the things that you're saying, you have lost your mind. Your brain is not working if this is where you're going. I hate mass shooting media. It is the worst. That's why last week was absolute tragedy. It just this week was a tragedy. Anytime somebody goes bonkers and kills a bunch of people, it's fucking tragic. And it's a commonplace feature in our society. And there are many factors that are involved in the reasons for this that we don't really want to get into here because we just make fun of how stupid everybody is in the news and in the media. It's not our job to like go down the Second Amendment rabbit hole and like
No.
Above our pay grade, folks. Above our pay grade. I want people to come here, laugh at the news, and not feel so crazy and have like break from the actual news cycle. Go get your news from, I don't know where you get it from these days.
Legitimate news sources,
wherever those are. It was tragic. It's been a couple of rough weeks, and I just wish the media wasn't so bad at covering this stuff because it automatically just like divides people into tribes, and they're all going to start yelling at each other. And obscured by all of this is the fact that tons of people are in mourning and have lost people that they loved. And our hearts always go out to all of those people. Anytime there's any kind of mass shooting, please know that our automatic default is to just respect them by not covering it and actually having some reverence for the families who are grieving. And to lighten things up, we have some Internet is Glorious.
We're not a big city, but we're definitely not a small town.
This building right here, it's going to be a Trader Joe's.
No, it's a Whole Foods.
No, Whole Foods going across the street.
Are we getting both? A lot of our surrounding areas are starting to get gentrified.
No. We're rebuilding for the future.
A safer, less crime-laden future.
Holy shit.
Phetasy News. We had Nancy Rommelman come through on Walk-Ins Welcome to talk about Portland, her writing, and using the good soap. It's a great episode. Please check it out. Please subscribe to Walk-Ins Welcome. I also appeared on the Habibi Power Hour. So
how many Nazis do you know personally?
Answer the question, Bridget.
It's Siraj Hashmi's hour-long podcast that goes into the news and does many similar things. He talks about his lists. Please subscribe to him on Patreon. I was on Megan Daum's podcast, Unspeakable. But I also saw this victimhood culture that I really just detest and rage against. It leads you nowhere. Talking Sarah Silverman and all the things, and compassion and empathy. And I had a Spectator column that came out about the new fear of flying that's taking over and my trip to South Africa. Some of you might enjoy that. Please subscribe. Please subscribe to Phetasy.com. We love you. Enjoy our community. It's awesome in there. You get the unedited version of Dumpster Fire a day before the edited one goes out on Sunday. You also get lots of other perks in there, discounts on merch, workouts with the gals. You get drop-ins welcome. More coming, and behind the scenes stuff. It's super fun. You can go to BridgetPhetasy.com to get your merch, all of the things, whatever you want. Whatever Sam puts up here this week, you'll love it. Thank you, Zen Pro Audio, for the mic. Thank you, Better Phetasy, for the research and jokes. You can follow Better Phetasy at Better Phetasy on Twitter. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Bridget.
find Sam anywhere that is online. You can stalk her on Instagram or Twitter or in the Phetasy community. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Bridget.
Maggie is only available in the community and very rarely at that. We're off next week, so happy Easter. We'll be back the 12th. Yes, we will rise from the dead like your Lord and Savior from out of the rock. This has been your dumpster fire for the week of March 21st to March 27th. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich!